You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Yeah, we Rick flaring on
Children, have you ever met the BogeyMan before? No, of course you haven't, for you're much too good, I'm sure. Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so I'll tell you what to do. Hush, 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 here comes the BogeyMan. Don't let him come too close to you, he'll catch you if he can. Just pretend that you're a crocodile, and you will find that BogeyMan will run away a mile. Say shoo shoo and stick him with a pin. BogeyMan will very nearly jump out of his skin. Say buzz buzz, just like the wasp that stings. BogeyMan will think you are an elephant with wings. Hush, 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 here comes the BogeyMan. Tell him you've got so air, you will find that BogeyMan will finish in thin air. Here's one way to catch him without fail. Just keep a little salt with you and put it on his tail.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Your boy Scotty back with another one. Happy Tuesday! Now listen, I know I was supposed to do this show on Monday. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have the energy, right? I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, I can't give them no energy when we talking about the we talking about the BoogeyMan. Okay, we talking about the boogie. We talking about what? What you want? No, we talking BoogeyMan. KZ in the sunshine. All right, that's what we talking about today. So I felt like I had to bring that energy, and I didn't really have it yesterday. So I said, you know what? I'm going to regroup. Me and my wife went out to dinner, you know what I'm saying? Cut up a little something, had a little something. And I'm re-energized, and I'm ready to do the show. Today is not about FAMU foolishness, because the reason it's not about FAMU foolishness is because it's really not a FAMU thing. It's about the BoogeyMan. It's about the BoogeyMan. Okay, so we're gonna go in that, and we got a full show for you today, as always, man. Listen, make sure you hit the like button. Stop playing. You already know me watching you watch me, all that type of stuff. Hit the like button. Shout out to my boy Reese. Shout out to Paris in the chat. Shout out to Miss Vanessa, Edwin, all you guys up in there, John, all you guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. And if you at home watching and you ain't in the chat, just say something to the Offscript chat. We get. I know you probably watching me on your TV. Just go on your phone. Type a little something in the chat. Let them know you in here. All right, listen. And as always, show is sponsored by Elite 15 Coffee. We do things in an elite way. Why not start your day in an elite way? Okay, get yourself some Elite 15 Coffee. Link is in the description below. Colombian roast, okay, Puerto Rican roast, Dominican roast, whatever roast you need. Okay, Elite got it indeed. Oh. I'm on fire today. I got the bars. Okay, I'm dropping straight bars today. Shout out to my boy Teldrin. Shout out to you. And shout out to my boy PZ in the chat, man. Shout out to all you guys out there, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always, man. Listen, you know how I'm coming because I'm doing what?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Now, let me say this before I start the show because a lot of you Bama's don't finish it. I know a lot of you Bama's watch it on replay. Let me say this. Mr. Campbell, Perry specifically texted me and said, it's a lot of crime running rampant in FAMU, and he has not heard a crime report. He sent that to me in the text. I wanted to say that early in the show, so ain't nobody gonna miss it. Okay? He specifically said, Scotty, it's a lot of crime running around FAMU, and I ain't heard no crime report. So just wanted me, that's what Perry texted me that. So just wanted to make sure because a lot of you Bama's don't watch the whole show. So we 7 minutes in, so I want to make sure everybody gonna give me 7 minutes, okay? You give me a couple pumps in the stroke. Y'all gonna give me 7 minutes. So want to make sure everybody heard that, okay? Just want to make sure everybody, all you Bama's heard that. That's what Perry said. So shout out to my boy Perry. So want to make sure. Now let's get into today. Let's talk. Let's talk a little what? Woo! But before we go there. Okay, before we go there, I gotta go on the side street. Now, let me be very clear. Word on the street is gossip, okay? So I keep telling y'all, I'm not media. So I don't like to break news. All I do is give you the gossip of what I've heard. So that's why I heard some gossip about Larry Robinson leaving. He hasn't left yet. It's word on the street. Gossip ain't 100%. Okay, just like when you and your peoples be talking, oh, I heard such and such, she got another baby, by yada yada yada. That gossip ain't 100%. That gossip ain't 100%. Oh, I heard the baby daddy is Lil John up the street. What I heard, it's actually a man baby. No. What I heard is it's DJ's baby around the corner, and he been messing with her and been messing with shit. That is word on the street. Now, if it's good, I look like a genius. I look like the man with the plan. But when it's bad, it's bad. It's gossip. Okay? It's gossip. It's gossip. Okay, so I'm just giving you the gossip. Word on the street is gossip. It's hot gossip. Okay, but it's gossip. It ain't I don't really be breaking no news. Okay, that's not my thing. I used to get into that. I don't like that no more. I like giving you the word on the street. I just like giving you the gossip that I've been hearing. So he done left. You know what I'm saying? He said that boy unveiled a logo in turf and dipped. So listen, now the word on the street was this. What I tell you about 3 weeks ago, I told you word on the street was Hakeem was leaving. And he gone. Okay? He gone. Now, what's sad to me is this, is the legacy he leaves behind. First of all, he's going to Jackson State. All right, because Ashley Robinson is pretty much like his big brother. You know what I'm saying? Wherever Ashley's been, Hakeem has been with him as well. So that was it was coming. The crazy thing is the Bama gonna be making more as the deputy director than as the AD at Valley. So if that ain't an upgrade, okay, so you telling me I get less headaches, bigger budget with more pay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it ain't too bad. It ain't too shabby. Okay, so, but this is my thing, right? You gotta put some respect on his legacy at Valley. Like, I cannot definitively say that his 1.5 to 2 years at Valley has probably been the most impactful in the last 15 to 20. But I'm close to saying in his 2 years at Valley has probably been the most impactful 2 years in their last 15. Like, they have been, since I've been in the SWAC, they've been talking about a new turf field. They just broke ground on that a couple days ago. He added a players lounge. He got a new logo, which is absolutely fire. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, shout out to my boy Nick Eden. He made it. He said it perfectly. He was like, they went from like Steve Urkel to Stefan. Okay, like yeah, for real. The boy got the sharp chin. You know what I'm saying? Like the logo before looked like Marvin the Martian. That was green, and you know what I'm saying. This new Jake looked like it was suave down by there. Yeah, he over there with he looked like Zorro. Okay, the hood Zorro. That's all those things have transpired under his regime and under his leadership. There has to be respect put on his name. If he stepped down, if he was, it don't matter. But I just want to give you some insight. I just want to give you a little insight, right? Because we're going to read between the lines. Because, you know, he got to go out, you know, the political way. But let's read between the lines. Here we go.
Accomplished a lot here with the support of. We've accomplished a lot here.
Let me translate that for you. I've accomplished a lot while I've been here. Ain't no we. It's me, okay? Me, myself, and I. Beyonce said it best. Me, myself, and I is all I got. That's all he got. Ain't no we. It's me. The team of me, okay? That's what that says. We just reading between the lines, okay? No, I did. I changed this shit. That's what he wants to say. I'm just telling you what he wants to say. We're gonna read between the lines. All right, here you go.
With the support of Dr. Briggs and the.
He ain't getting no support. What support? What support? I wouldn't be stepping down if I had support from Dr. Briggs. But you gotta, with support of Dr. Briggs ain't do shit. Nothing. I did this. Me, I tied that bow. I did that.
Institution and support across the board from the alums, so forth and so on. But it was just time. It wasn't anything else than that.
It was just time. Shit, this is what he really want to say. Shit, you see what I'm working with over here with these ninjas? Shit, I had to get up out of here. I had to leave. I'm tired of dealing with these ninjas. These Negroes always want to stop my progress and stop my shine. It was time. Yeah, it was time for me to get up out of here.
It was just time to make a move for the family, for the overall landscape and scope of things to make a move. So that's
the overall landscape and scope is they don't want to do shit right here. That's what he's saying. They don't want to do right here. God dang, what else the brother got to do? I done changed the seat, I done changed the landscape. And Bamas don't want to do right.
So that's just with everything that went into it. Yes,
Was
sir.
it a difficult decision?
Definitely difficult because this is.
Nah, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard, pimp. You know, you gotta say it was hard, but it really wasn't that hard. It really wasn't that hard. Now, granted, he's gonna go into further why he, did what he did and why, he left and so, he's an alum and all that type of stuff. But it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that difficult because they try to stop my shine every time I go.
This is my home. I came here in 2005, met my wife here, left in 2010, came back in 12, I left in 14 and back again in 22. So this is home for me. So it'll always be home, and I love this institution with all of my heart. And I think we've accomplished a lot in this time. So
I think I've done a lot. I think I accomplished a lot. I think I've done a lot. I think I'm damn good. If I do say so myself, I think I did pretty damn good. If I do say so myself, that's what he's saying. You got to read between the lines. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, it definitely. It's always more work to do wherever you are. So there's definitely more work to be done.
It's always more work to be done, but it's a lot of work here. It's always work to be done, but it's just a lot more here. And Bamas don't want to help. That's really how that interview went. But I got a new segment for you. I think I might really like this new segment. I got a new segment. It's called HBCU. HBCU logic. This is called HBCU logic. And listen, this is me in my time in the space, just giving you a little HBCU logic. You know how they got like girl math? This is like HBCU math, like HBCU logic. I'm just gonna give you a little HBCU logic. That's all I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So here's a little HBCU logic for you. I'm gonna let y'all simmer on that. Let me blow that up for y'all. Y'all simmer on that, and yeah. Let's read these off, shall we? HBCU logic tells me this. Dr. McNugget, bad media deal, 2 lawsuits, a fake classic, a Dion debacle. He gets an 8-year extension. Hakeem, at Valley, new turf field, new logo, player lounge, media expansion. He steps down. He can't get support. He can't get no help. HBCU logic. It's wrapped up. It's wrapped up in a nice bow. Listen, let me help y'all out. Anybody want to get a job at an HBCU? Just don't be good at your job. The worse you are, the longer you stay. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say that again. The worse you are, the longer you stay. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. Be bad to be good, and good will get you fired in HBCU. Try to make change, fired. Try to do right, fired. Try to implement something new, fired. That's HBCU logic. Ass backwards. I like that one. Casey said it. Ass backwards. It's ass backwards. That's what it is. That's HBCU logic for you. I'm just saying. Try to help the school, fired. I don't know. I don't know what else you want to talk about. What else you want to? The worse you are, the longer you get to stay. I mean, listen, for you to get fired at an HBCU, you really gotta be bad. Like felony type bad, right? Sleeping with some, fraternization on another level, getting somebody pregnant when you married, you know what I'm saying? Sleeping with prostitutes and getting caught, killing somebody on the institution, swindling money, you know what I'm saying? Swindling money, embezzling, you got to do some outlandish stuff to get let go. But if you do the right stuff, or if you just do your job and do it to a high standard and hold people around you with the same standard, you fired. You fired. You let go. Get your school multiple sponsorships with AT&T and LeBron James, fired. Get your school a media deal that was going to bring in income, fired. But you get swindled in a $237 million gift donation, you get to step down from one of your roles. You go from a surplus budget to a negative budget, you get to keep your job. I'm just, I just don't. Somebody gotta help me. Somebody gotta help me make sense to me. Somebody gotta help. You hire the person that is ass at their job, you get to keep your job, but they fired. Man, that's crazy. Boy, that's crazy. Man. That's just absolutely crazy to me. Oh, but that's just that HBCU logic. That is just that HBCU logic at work. Oh, it's deadly. That HBCU logic deadly. Ooh-wee. Man, listen. If I can be this bad and get paid $300,000 to lead a conference, like, I want to be very clear. And I'm not going to stay on Dr. McNugget very long. But somebody asked me, they said, Scotty, they was like, where would you rank Dr. McNugget? Where would you rank Dr. McNugget in like commissioners, right? Like commissioners. And I was like, oh, that's a great question. And I was like, dang, I would put him right in front of the Pac-12 commissioner. And they was like, damn, Scotty, why would you put him in front of the Pac? I said, because he destroyed the Pac-12. So he just won better than him. Like, if we being honest, if we being a whole, like, it's either between, it'll be the Pac-12 commissioner in front of, it'll be the Pac-12 commissioner behind him, and then it will be the WAC commissioner. The one that got that, like, union partnership, the WAC commissioner, whatever. Them two will be the only people, like, behind Dr. McNugget. But everybody, like, anybody else, I'm putting in front of him. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to say this, I'm going to let it go. It's my last thing about McNugget. My thing with McNugget is this is my thing with, I like that SWAC logic. I'll say SWAC logic. I still believe it's HBCU logic, but I'll say SWAC logic. The SWAC logic is this, right? The SWAC logic is this. Is that I look at it like this. There's only let me just tell you my thing and I'm gonna move right on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my little thing right on. My thing is this. There's only two people currently in the conference that I will promote to commission. That's Ashley Robinson, Dr. Paul Bryant. That's it. I'm not looking at nobody else that's in the SWAC. I will give them to. Outside of that, I would be looking for a white person. And this is why I say that. This is why I say that, right? I would be looking for a white person. The reason I'll be looking for a white person is this. White people are going to get you into rooms that some black people just can't get into, right? So, like, if your new commissioner was Paul Tagliabue, right? And I won't say Paul Tagliabue. Let's say Paul Smith, right? Paul Smith is a new white commissioner of the SWAC, right? So there's connections and if you hire the right guy, let me just make sure that I'm saying this right, because the race doesn't matter if the person has the connections. But if you hire a white person with the right connections, there are rooms that he can walk into that a black commissioner cannot. There are connections that he might have that the black person does not. And it could be something as simple as this. Paul walks into a room. He's like, John, you know I'm the new commissioner of the SWAC, right? What's the SWAC? The SWAC, the one Dion was coaching at a couple years ago. Oh, yeah. Man, you got to come on down there, man. Come on. You got to come and check us out, man. We're doing pretty good. Man, we're looking for some sponsorship deals, man. I'm telling you, you get some eyes on your products down there. That's how that stuff works. That's how that stuff works. A white person carries your name into rooms that some black people just cannot go into, right? So that's just my little 2 cents. The only two black people right now in the SWAC that I would even think about promoting to commissioner would be Ashley Robinson or Dr. Paul Bryant. That's it. I ain't looking at nobody else. And everybody else, it's up for grabs. All right. Anywho. So let's get into today's. Do what you want. Now listen, I think this name is so good for her because this to me has to be the best part of this show. And the reason is because the boogeyman, you either believe in him or you don't. You either think he's there or he's not. But if you believe in him, he lingers, right? He lingers. That's just what it is. He lingers. He's everywhere, you know, under your bed, in the closet, you know what I'm saying? But for me, Tiffany Sykes is like a dark cloud over FAMU. Like when Dr. Humphrey says when the dark clouds come over FAMU, he was talking about Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. Like literally. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like that. It's literally that's what when he was talking about when the dark clouds come over FAMU, he was specifically referencing the future hire of Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. She is a nuclear atomic bomb cloud just sitting over FAMU. Like that is how horrible her time at FAMU has truly been. And I've had a couple FAMU people called me and said, Scotty, she could probably go down as one of the worst ADs to ever. They said that it was to some, what was his name? Some Kellen Winslow. They said Kellen Winslow was the most hated AD at FAMU, right? He was number one, most hated AD. He said, I can bet my bottom dollar right here, right now, that Tiffany Dawn-Sykes, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, is one of the worst ADs that has ever touched foot down at the highest of Southern Hills. When the dark clouds gather over the horizon, you are the horizon today. You are the horizon today. The Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University is the horizon today. And the dark cloud is Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. That is the dark cloud. Horizon, FAMU, Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. Perfect. Kellen Winslow easy was the worst. He's a close second. I mean, very close. Winslow was bad. Got his behind out of there. And that's what I'm saying. So, because I don't know all your ADs. I'm not a FAMU historian, right? It's just the simple fact of the matter is that that's what I've been told, is that she could go down as one of the worst ADs possible. Now, let me just give you some insight on what could possibly make her one of the worst ADs at FAMU ever, right? Now, mind you, the Boogeyman did say that this was her dream job, and it's become a nightmare for FAMU people. Like, how can one person's dream become somebody else's nightmare? And that's what he said. No one was close to being as bad as Winslow, and I was at school when he was hired. Everyone was like, what the, why? So, but I would say this, Aaron. I would say this. How do you think people at FAMU feel right now? Right? The athletes, the people, because what I'll say is this. The people that I've spoken to that work at FAMU in different departments, there's not a lot of good things that have been said about this woman. And usually you can kind of feel like, okay, maybe it's like you got a personal vendetta or you got a personal vendetta. But when I talk to multiple people in different departments that really don't have a day-to-day interaction and they still don't like this person or don't, now you kind of seem like this is just who you are, right? Like when people just are coming out the woodworks and saying, hey, Scotty, because a lot of people, listen, y'all be surprised how many people really text me on this number that give me like insight and talk about, hey, I work here, I can't say nothing, or I work here, I can't say nothing. But it's close. It's close, right? Like I'm saying it's really, really close. So let me break down just some of the things that have transpired in her time at FAMU. right? So let's go through this. Took FAMU out of the OBC. Now, I want to be very clear. Some people were against it. Some people were for it. I was totally against it. Totally against it. And I was on record saying that it was probably the dumbest thing she did when it comes to this. Now, let me be very clear. I talked to Gaucher, right? Let me take these glasses off. I talked to Gaucher. And Gaucher told me, he said, it wasn't very smart that, because the conversation that me and Gaucher had was this. I said, Gaucher, explain to me why you scheduled the way you did this year and made it was just, I was like, it's a lot. This is a lot. He said, well, Scotty, this is why I did what I did. He said, well, I worked at Miami. He said, so coming out of the OBC, he said, I looked at it. If we got to play Miami, he said, you get the day off, you play that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or whatever days you got the day off. You go to Miami on Wednesday or Thursday and you stay for that week. So you don't have to worry about going back to Tallahassee, right? You don't have to worry about going back to Tallahassee. You go from the OBC right to the Miami game. And he said, you pretty much made $1 million within 2 weeks. You made $1 million in 2 weeks. He said, Scotty, I'm gonna tell you right now. He said, there is no game that she can replace the FAMU game that is going to guarantee you $500,000. He said, I know. Listen to me what he said. He said, Scotty, I know every number about that institution. He said, there's no game that you can schedule that's going to guarantee you a $500,000 payout. He said, homecoming is what homecoming is. He said, and the big games are what they are. He said, but outside of that, there are no game that you can schedule on your schedule that's going to guarantee you $500,000. He said, so that's a surplus into your budget right there. He said, and then I got 750 or 700 or 750 coming from Miami. So he's like, that's 1.2. So in a week span, you've made $1.2 million. He said, that's why I scheduled the game the way I did. And he said, after this year, you would go back. You go back and go back to doing your regular thing, because this is what I told FAMU people when I first dropped the news that y'all weren't going back to FAMU or going back to the OBC, is you based everything, any future earnings, off the 1 year of you losing home games. That didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense, to where you based leaving the game because you wanted more people to get the investment in champions, and you wanted more. It just doesn't make any sense where you based 1 year off future earnings at the OBC. It just did not make sense. So we had that conversation and stuff like that. We had some other, he said some other stuff, but I wanted to give you that insight from the former AD of why he scheduled the game of this year, why he scheduled it the way he did, right? So then she comes in. So let me go back. So then she changes the investment in champions. So then she changes the, investment in champions. She increases the price, less deliverables, things like that, right? Let's Willie walk out with no fight. So if you remember, Willie's agent came to her in the beginning of the season to ask for an extension. She said no. He came back and asked in the middle of the season. She said no. And then by the end of the season, it was too late. Willie was done with her. And she still didn't offer him until after the SWAC championship. Where he was already gone. So you let that happen, because listen, guys, and this is going to be the theme for today. It's not always it's just how you do things, right? Like, even if Willie was still going to take the job with less headache, more pay, right? That's fine. But it's how you do things that shows that you do good business, right? It is giving good. Who are you going to get at FAMU that was going to be as impactful as Willie Simmons? if Willie Simmons comes to you and asks you for a extension, he's been the best thing. He's been the best thing at FAMU since sliced bread. Why? Just based off what he has done for FAMU, he deserved an extension. Now, maybe you could, and I said this in the beginning, right? And I said this in the beginning. I said, hey, listen, I would have offered Willie one contract, and then I would have said, hey, you win the SWAC, and you win the Celebration Bowl. This is your contract. As of right now, this is what I'm willing to offer you. But if you go out and win the SWAC championship and the Celebration Bowl, understand this is what it is. Right? This is what it is. And I want to be very clear. I think people do coaches a disservice because some people get mad that coaches don't win. And I'm going to say this, it's the same thing I feel about Dawson Odom, right? Like, I think Southern got spoiled in what Dawson was doing because he would always get you to the dance, right? But you could never go in the door. He always got you to the dance, but you just couldn't get inside the club, right? And I'd rather have a coach that gets me to the dance than a coach that ain't even dressed. That we don't even have a shot like Little Bill at Bethune-Cookman. You ain't got no chance. Right? Give me somebody who gets me to the door. Even if they can't kick the door in, give me a Jim Harbaugh. I'll take a Jim Harbaugh. You get me to the door. I'm at the door. I can live with that. But to never get to the door, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I fire a coach and try to get another coach who might get me to the door? That, to me, I'll never understand it. Because eventually, you'll have an opportunity to kick the door down. That's just my mindset, right? So I believe that good business is like this. Hey, Willie, I can't give you everything. I can't give you everything because you haven't won the big one. But what I can do is I can offer you an extension right here, right now, for this amount for this. But if you win the SWAC and win the Celebration Bowl, this is the contract I'll offer you. This is the contract. So he knows that you're interested, that he knows that you're willing to work with him. That's just my little 2 cents. All right. Now, continuing on. Then she hired the wrong coach. And then what I mean wrong coach is simply you went against the grain. You went against the grain of alums and went and got your guy. Ma'am, this was a SWAC championship team. They didn't lose like, they weren't losing like Bethune-Cookman or losing like UAPB or just getting beat bad. Like, this was a championship team and they wanted to keep it together and they wanted you to elevate somebody on the staff to keep it rolling. You went against the grain and went and hired the wrong guy and had a complete backlash on your decision. And then had to go get it. Now you had to start the process all over. Now you got to go get a committee to just tell you to hire Cozy, even though you still wanted to hire Fred McNair. Like, you talking about somebody who's just super stubborn in the way that they do things. It's just, listen, this is your first time as an AD. Just give the people what they want. You could hire all the other randoms, basketball coaches, softball coaches, bowling coach who epically failed, right? You can hire all the randoms you want. But the main topic, you should have gave the people what they wanted and let them decide. Right? And let them decide and let it go how they want it to go. So if it fails with Cozy, right? You good. Hey, that's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted Cozy. And then you can come back and hire your guy if you're around long enough, right? It's those type of things, right? So then let's continue on. Then she gets into a scuffle with a big booster whose uncle is the Piggly Wiggly sponsor at FAMU. and loses that sponsorship. And then to top it all off, she lets her new coach let go of the whole basketball team. That's just, and there's probably some other stuff in here that I'm missing. But this is the BoogeyMan. That is her. That's a year and a half. She's only been on the job a year and a half. And mind you, she can't raise not a dollar. It is so bad. Listen to me. It is so bad. I got people saying, Scotty, I don't want to give to athletics. I want to give to the 220 club. I want to give this. I want to give that. I don't want to give anything to her, but you're in a pickle. You're in a catch-22, right? Because it's like this. You want to give to FAMU athletics because you want the athletics to stay good and stay relevant. But you don't want to give the money to her because she's trash. She's trash. She can't raise money. I'm hearing that they don't even want her to go on the Rattler strike tour to raise money. They don't even want her to do that. That's how bad this has gotten with this AD. That alums don't want her to come into their home and ask for money. Because these are the same alums that you turned your back on when they were asking for a certain coach. Now, let's talk about the team being cut, right? So, who you see right here is Pastor Julius McAllister Jr. from, I think it's like AME Bethel Church or something like that, right? And he wrote a letter about his son, and the alleged crime was that the coach, Carey, dismissed the whole basketball team, and this is how it reads. I got this from the Tallahassee Democrat. It is my strong opinion that if Coach Crary, that's just a weird last name, and AD Sykes have made decisions to release players from their scholarships and force them to transfer 2 days before the closing of the portal. The portal closed on May 1st, 2024. Mr. Crary should not be hired as the next coach of the university male basketball team. And AD Sykes should be required to answer tough questions and thoroughly explain the circumstances around the authorization of the dismissal of an entire basketball team, including questions. Woo, the letter was a monster. 25. Oh, shoot. It's surrounding the authorization of the dismissal of an entire basketball team, including questions pertaining to the intolerable treatment of our most precious investments, our young African-American men. McAllister wrote in the letter to Robinson, if her answers are inadequate, she too should be released from her contract. And I blew it up nice and big so you members can read it. If her answers are inadequate, she too shall be released from her contract. Now, let me say this. Right? So this came on Twitter, and I posed the question, right? The dude says, FAMU basketball, the parent of a walk-on dropped in to see if the coach was in the office. That's a problem to me. Folks love to talk professionalism and then should have been handled differently. And my question is simply this. Do you consider it unprofessional for a parent to check in with the coach in the offseason? Right. Okay. Now, that's one question. Now, my thing, let me say this, right? I'm going to say this because what people fail to freaking realize, and this is what I can't stand about people who be like, the team was bad. That's not the freaking point. That's not the point. The point, listen, you cannot promote yourself as an institution for African-American people and you tell them we don't treat you like a PWI. And then you end up treating them like a PWI. This shit is ass backwards. The shit is ass backwards. I keep telling these administrations, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It is how you do it. If the team is ass, let go of half the team or try to bring back somebody or whatever you make. If you do the process right, you never get the backlash. If you officially send out letters and say, hey, I am not renewing anybody's scholarship, but everybody is available to try out at this such and such time. We'll go through drills, that are evaluations, blah, 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 blah. It's all about how you handle business. And what bothers me is this. You cannot have it both ways. You can't be promoting, oh, all they care about. It's not about his son, Coach Green. That's the fucking problem with y'all. It's not about, he talks about the 16 kids that were let go. Yes, his son was a part of the 16 kids, but it's not just about his son. It's about the 16 kids. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying Patrick Crary is a bad coach or whatever. All I'm saying is this. It's how you proceed to do something. That's the issue. It's how you do something. And my biggest issue is this. How can your motto at your institution say excellence with caring, and you move and you allow your coach to move the way that he moved? That doesn't make any sense. This is the shit that I'm talking about, where I say you gotta pick what you're trying to be. You got to choose what you're trying to be. If your motto is excellence with caring, how you handle your business is the caring part. How you treat these young men is the caring part. I don't care about the walk-ons. I do not care. I care about the seniors. I care about the juniors who have been a part of your institution for the last 2 or 3 years. Those are the guys and the girls that I care about when you say, oh, I'm not bringing anybody back. And they got to jump in the portal. Now, if they do it on their own accord, that is on them. That's their right. But it's the same. I'm going to have the same policy. I'm going to stand on it the same way I stood on it when the volleyball coach at Grambling did the same dumb stuff. It's not right. It's not. You cannot tell me that this is the stuff that bothers me. HBCU alums would jump on my platform, call in and say, Scotty, well, they don't even care about the black men. All they want is them to play sports and knock their head off. They don't even get a good degree and they don't even want to do this. And then you turn around and do the same thing to the young men that you telling me PWIs are doing. And we family and we classmates and it's this and we care and how can you? How can you if you allow your coaches to move in that way? I don't believe. And listen, the process is simple. It's like, hey, listen, coach, the seniors, they're no-goes. You can't touch the seniors. Juniors, sophomores, or whatever, have a conversation with them. Let them know, have some tryouts, have an evaluation period, right? Have an evaluation period, talk to the kids, see what, because if you do all the CYA stuff, then this stuff is irrelevant. If the kid comes out and says, or if the kid tells the parent or whatever, hey, I've been let go or whatever, and the coach and the AD have all the processes that went into letting the kid go. Hey, listen, we had a sit down evaluation, right? Let him know what he was expecting. We had tryout evaluations for the current players as well as for future walk-ons. We did that. We did this. Then you can be like, hey, I'll be on here like, I don't know. Listen, you can't cry. If he went through all the process to give you opportunity, he's just like, hey, you're not measuring up to what I need, or you're not willing to put the work in or whatever. It's you gotta go, but you gotta go through the processes, right? It's no different than if there's somebody on your job that you want to get fired, there is a process to getting them fired. You can't just, I mean, some of y'all jobs, y'all can't just up and quit, fire people, but most times they need a write-up. They need this, they need that. You need documentation, you need paperwork. And all I'm saying is just treat the kids. If you're telling me, I'm sorry, I won't say kids. If you're telling me they're young adults, if you're telling me that this is the process and how you want to do it, go about it in a business-like way. Hey, this is my first, write-up, or hey, this is my first this, or hey, this is my first that. Like, that's how that works. That's the process. Right? That's how, to me, that's how it should go, to where you are putting in places, you're putting in procedures that allow kids to make it happen or whatever. And you CYA, because at the end of the day, it's people keep saying like it's the coach's right. I'm not saying that it's not. All I'm saying is that you're telling me that it's excellence with caring, but where's the caring part? Where's the caring part? That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. To make sure I CYA my ass, I would have kids that want to jump in the portal. I would have them sign a letter and say, hey, are you making a choice on your own to jump in the portal? Understanding that you still are allowed to have a tryout and evaluation period to make this team. I would have them sign paperwork like that just so I can CYA my ass when somebody says Scotty done let 12 out of 16 players go. And I can simply show you a letter saying, hey, they signed it saying that they were voluntarily jumping in the portal and I did not make them. And they saw they still had a tryout and evaluation period that they could attend and possibly still make the team. It is your choice of what you want to do. So I'm good. I didn't CYA my ass. I didn't forcefully tell nobody to go into the portal. That's what I would do. That's just me. Because I do care about you. I do. Because to me, a lot of coaches don't want to coach. You can't tell me the whole team can't play D1 basketball. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me the whole FAMU squad can't play D1 basketball. You can't make me believe that. Can't. I'm not saying all 16 were good, but you cannot tell me there's not 2 or 3 or 4 players on that team that can play D1 basketball. That's all I'm saying. That's my point. So now going forward is this, right? So FAMU's Board of Trustees, they had a meeting, and I listen. Let me say this. Hey, board chair, I know you scheduled that meeting early so I wouldn't put that hole on the channel. I know you did that purposely. I know you did, because all your Board of Trustee meetings have been in the afternoon. Why this one in the morning? 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Who do that? I know what you did. I'm going to get you next time. Anyway. So it says, Tiffany Dawn-Sykes was reportedly offered Tiffany Dawn-Sykes offered Patrick, the boogeyman, offered Patrick a 3-year, $150K deal pending the Board of Trustee approval. FAMU trustee Deveron Gibbons suggested pushing back Query's approval or not to hire him at all. He said there was not enough information as to whether or not signing him to a proposed contract would triple his salary. Sykes pulled up the employment verification on Query and stated he made $95,000 at the NIA program, and at the time that's cap. That's cap, right? Because this is what I'm saying. Okay, it's not cap, but it is cap, right? You have to see it for what it is. There's no way, as a basketball coach, this Bama was making $95K just as a basketball coach. It's no way. Not at the NAIA. Ain't no way you making that at the NAIA, right? But if you're the assistant athletic director and you're the head men's basketball coach, now you're making 95 or 93K or whatever, 95K, right? So this is the kicker. You had two roles that gave you a combined salary of $95,000. You as a coach was not making $95,000 at an NAIA. You weren't. So, I mean, do I believe? So at the end of the day, do I believe he was making $95K as a basketball coach? Absolutely not. As a basketball coach, he's probably bringing about 45 to 50, right? Because at Fort Valley State, Coach Gibbs is making like 60 or 70. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if he was making 60K at an NAIA and you get to FAMU and they pretty much tripled your salary. That's exactly what they did. They tripled your salary. Very, very much so. And you didn't, bro, come on, man. Like if you're going from the reason they're complaining about tripling his salary is like, one, is he worth tripling his salary? Right? Like, is he good enough? Right? Is he good enough to have his salary tripled? Because if I'm being honest, I say no. Because okay, and let me say this. Let me tell you why. He didn't win a championship. He didn't win a championship at St. Thomas. Right? Very successful coach. If anything, if I'm taking somebody from NAIA, I'm taking a white coach from Langston. But why this makes sense is the location, right? He was in Miami. He was in Miami, Florida. So he knows the schools in Florida, right? He knows how to make that work or whatever. So it is what it is. Is he valued at $150K? Who knows? But if this was the route you were going to go, people are saying there were other coaches that were more qualified. That's what they said in the articles. They feel like it's more coaches qualified. And I'll say this. And the word on the street is this, right? The gossip in the street is this. The gossip in the street is this, is that the committee that was put together to bring in a coach, they were not allowed to look at anybody else other than him. And what I mean, listen, I'm not saying like they didn't bring anybody else in. What they were saying is what I've been told was that the committee was told that Patrick was their guy. Like that was her guy. The rest of it was just informal stuff of just like, hey, listen, we just gonna go through the motions, but I'm picking Patrick. That's word on the street. I'm just telling you what I've been told. Right? So when you're talking about the process of bringing the coach in, some people are questioning the process and the vetting process of how they got to Patrick over some of the candidates that applied for the position as well. Once again, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying Patrick is a bad coach. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know the man like that. I haven't watched enough basketball games at St. Thomas to even tell you that, right? So he could be the perfect coach for FAMU. But the process and how he was brought to FAMU has been looked at and they're like, hey, you know, we don't know if you really vetted everybody as well as you say you did, or did you really give other people an opportunity to really hire? Now, some people can say this is FAMU being FAMU, like they're always into something, or they're always trying to nitpick something and not letting the AD pick who they want, you know, letting the AD do their job. So that's, listen, I'm just giving you the news or the gossip as it's coming to me. That's just what it is, right? So at the end of the day, is this contract approved? No. Have they tabled the conversation until the August retreat of FAMU? Yes. So this Bama is about to be a whole month at a new job, ain't getting paid. Ain't getting paid. Ain't getting paid. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this works out. I think the board. Listen, I think what it comes down to is this. I think the board is tired of Tiffany. I think the board is tired of Tiffany, right? And when you're tired of somebody, you just start questioning everything, right? I'm not saying this is a bad hire. I do not know. I do not care, right? But if you're looking at the circumstances of the board, it's like, yo, we always in some shit because of you, right? That's what it's coming down to. So now they're questioning everything she does because you're always in something because of Tiffany. Like, how does Tiffany not know that she cannot sign off on a 3-year deal? The board of trustees have to sign off on a multi-year deal. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. How you not know that? You done brought in about 3 or 4 coaches. How did you not know that? Like it's that type of stuff, right? It's all the little things that just kind of pile up and build a case against you when it comes to your job and can you function at your job. So let me be very clear. I'm gonna wrap this up. My opinion is this. I'm always going to be against letting a whole team go. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care if you're 0-72, right? I'm always going to be, it's at PWIs. It doesn't matter. White, black, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, purple stripe. It don't matter. I'm always going to be against letting the whole team go because coach, that is what a coach does. They coach. I was against it. When Deion did it at Jackson, I was against it. What is your job? I'm paying you to coach. Coach. Period. It's got to be 2 or 3 kids on the team that can go or be useful, right? I'm not telling you to keep the bad news bears and turn them into world beaters, but goddamn, like coach. Period, right? So I'm always going to be against that. So there's no, unless you have, you know, you have the evaluation period, you do this, you do that, whatever. But other than that, no, coach. So I'm talking to that. Listen, man. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Xavier. Walk on. Bishop, walk on. Thank you, Xavier. If you freaking coach, you find diamonds in the rough. Thank you, Bishop. Making my point. Jesus. What is a coach supposed to do other than coach? Jesus. Anyway. Period. Coach. I can't stand that. I'm sorry. I just can't stand that. Anyway, my thing is, and then the second thing is this. FAMU's got to let Tiffany go. At some point in time, listen, Larry Robinson hasn't had, I won't say this last year for Larry Robinson has been tumultuous, and half of it's because of Tiffany. Half of it is simply because of Tiffany, and out the simple is you picked her. You picked her. The committee didn't pick her. You handpicked this woman, and now she is terrorizing FAMU athletics. It's her dream job, but everybody else living in a nightmare. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. So I feel for FAMU and their boogeyman problem. I feel for them. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And I hope it gets better. I truly hope it gets better. And it starts with letting Tiffany go. There's no way she should survive. Now listen, if you would like to give to FAMU athletics, but you do not want to give to FAMU athletics, you are more than willing. You can give to the 220 Club. You don't like what's going on in your institution? Please give to the 220 Club. Everything that is given to the 220 Club goes straight to the football team. All right? So you can scan this QR code. You can give by text. Listen, matter of fact, you should just give despite of Tiffany. Okay? Like, if you don't like Tiffany, just text $50 to the 220 Club just in support of not liking Tiffany Dawn-Sykes. I mean, you can just do that. Right? So if you want to give to athletics and you don't want to give to her, you are more than welcome to give to the 220 Club. They sent me that, told me to tell y'all that you are more than welcome to give. All right? So you can text to give. You can scan the QR code. Make sure you give to FAMU athletics through the 220 Club. All right? Has nothing to do with Tiffany. He said, I'm going to donate $2.37. Oh, man. Make sure you Bama support. All right? I'm definitely, listen, listen, I don't like Tiffany. I ain't going to lie. I ain't never met the woman in my life. I don't like her. I'm going to give $50 for the 220 Club. That just because I don't like Tiffany. Period. That's just how I feel about that. So 220 Club, be expecting my $50 donation. I'll say this. I respect Bridget Gordon from FAMU for how she did her year at FAMU basketball, right? She didn't have a lot of time to bring in anybody. She was brought in on short notice. She coached the team hard. They made the playoffs. They made the SWAC playoffs, and she let her senior player go out on top as a player of the year. Like, to me, that's what coaching's about. She essentially took the same team that Pillow had, took them to the SWAC championship. I mean, took them to the SWAC playoff, the SWAC tournament. I'm sorry, the SWAC tournament, right? Shout out to Tiffany because she did hire Bridget Gordon, right? But that's the only thing. Shout out Tiffany. But that to me is coaching. That to me is what coaching looks like. Now she comes back next year. Retool the whole team. Man, listen, I ain't never seen so many girls that probably look like they should have been in jail. FAMU basketball was known for the Instagram models, okay? FAMU's basketball was all about Instagram models. Now, them jokers look like they done did a couple bids. They done went to juvenile detention centers, okay? They done spent a little time in the hood. And now they're Forever 21, right? They look like some ballers. So she's retooling the whole shebang. That's what, to me, that's what a coach is. Hey, listen, I'm going to bite the bullet on this first year. I'm going to try to get what I can do. I'm going to move. I'm going to shake. I'm going to add a couple pieces here and there, blah, blah, blah. The next year is my team. And if we're being honest, that's how athletics used to be. Let's be 100%. That's how athletics used to be. Your first year, you bit the bullet, right? Your second and third year, those were your guys, and then you had your success your third and fourth years. That's how this game was played. But now with the transfer portal, you know what I'm saying? Hey, whatever. It is what it is. Listen, man. Y'all see them transfers? Y'all see them commitment photos? Tats all down here, down the leg, on the neck. Hey, them Instagram model days of FAMU is over, okay? Like FAMU basketball used to average like 10, 15K followers. Like all the starting five had like 15 to 20K followers. Now, 200. 200. 150. 50. Like that's the type of vibes that she going for. Okay. I'm just saying. Right? That's what it is. That's what it is, man. So listen. I feel like I'm gonna be here. At the end of the week talking about some FAMU foolishness. But listen, man, at the end of the day, man, FAMU, y'all just gotta get off the mat. If y'all just get off the mat, y'all would be so much better if you just get off the mat. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that goes forward. But listen, man, I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate the show. Shout out to Tiffany for giving me on content. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.